Thank you for tuning in to TalkWad.com, the world's fastest growing internet radio network. Please check out all the other great shows on www.talkwad.com.
You're listening to RockSlamRadio.com. From all studios to the world, we bring you the finest in quality entertainment. So grab a groupie, throw some horns, and settle in for another fine show from RockSlamRadio.com.
This is the T-Bonez Rock Show on RockSlamRadio.com, where each week I bring you the finest, most talented bands, musicians, and anything related to the live music scene in the Tampa Bay area and beyond. Hello, everybody. Thanks for listening. You're on the T-Bonez Rock Show. My co-host is here with me tonight, Mr. Jim Gravely. He is the Morocco Mole of Rock Slam Radio.
Morocco Mole.
Yeah, do you remember Morocco Mole? Does anybody remember Morocco Mole?
No, what is that?
Secret Squirrel sidekick, yeah. Each week we have a sidekick, and Jim doesn't know who he is.
No. I got
keep it that way.
Mr. Green Jeans.
Mr. Cream Jeans, yeah.
No, green, not cream.
Oh, my.
Tonight on the show, our special guest is Soulmate Smilin'. That band consists of 5 very seasoned musicians, each in their own right. Together, they have approximately 70 years, that's a long time, guys, of experience performing publicly. This project is approaching its 3rd year, and they are actively seeking new and exciting places to play. What's an exciting place to play, Lisa?
Lots of people, lots of dancing, really into it.
Energy, right?
Energy.
Yeah. Members of Soulmate Smilin' are Lisa K off to my left. Say hi, Lisa.
Hi, Lisa.
Troy Peralta.
Peralta.
Yep.
Hi.
I get my tongue busted. Peralta. And in the background, we have Joe Gregory on bass.
Yeah.
And he'll be able to see him in a few minutes here. And Mike Spenceley on drum.
Hi.
And Rafael Aquino. I did not say that right. On keyboards. Thank you very much, sir. I'll get it wrong again next. I'll just call you by your first name. I got the first names right. That's cool.
Yeah.
If I get through that, I'm doing good. To talk with them, the members of Soulmate Smilin', call in at 727-597-4022, or you hit us up on Facebook at T-Bone Entertainment. Hit the like button, type in your questions. Jim's here. He'll read them and type something back, whether you like it or not.
And weep.
And weep.
Read 'em and weep.
Lisa K on vocals. And you were born in Wellborn, Florida?
I was born in Ohio.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wrong
where
Lisa.
Where at?
Columbus.
Yeah.
But since I was 8 years old,
Really?
been in Florida, and it's a tiny little town called Wellborn. It's sandwiched in between Live Oak and Lake City.
Oh,
Florida.
you're up north quite a ways.
Wow.
Do you still live up there?
No, Joe and I are in Port Richey now.
Yeah.
Okay, very cool. I was going to say you drove a long ways. Probably
Yeah,
the
we
longest
drive
drive any of my guests ever had. No, you'd get really tired, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
No, I'm from Ohio, too, if it matters.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Where
We're
you
both Buckeyes.
from? Hey.
I'm from around the Akron area.
I don't remember much. I remember snow angels.
What is a Buckeye? Isn't that like a
It's-
useless nut?
It is. And all of us useless nuts come from Ohio. Right? Am I right,
Hey now.
Lisa?
Sorry.
I'm from there, too, so
I had
it's
to.
okay. And how long has the band been together, Lisa?
This project's been together about 2 years. We were Woodshed for the first year. So we've only actually been gigging out for about the past year. But we're gaining momentum.
You said woodshed?
Yeah, we've actually been
Practicing in a woodshed.
Well, no. Well, considering our house is in the middle of the woods, I guess you could possibly call it a woodshed.
There's some streets there.
Lots of trees.
There's a little river in the backyard.
Yeah, we're in Port Richey.
Did that happen when Joe said, "Let's go out to the woodshed there, Lisa"?
Yeah, that was
and it was love after that, right?
Oh, pick me
Yeah,
your
that
switch
swept me right off my
first.
feet there.
I can't find the pan. Where's the pan?
I think it was that hickory
Where's
log
the
that got
pan?
her in there, you know.
At least he didn't say outhouse.
Oh, true. No, we have indoor plumbing.
Oh,
That's
good.
Yes, we do.
No, you don't live in Polk County, so you got indoor plumbing in Pasco, right? Okay, I'm sorry. I apologize to everybody from Polk.
I was just
All
going
right.
to say, ouch.
Who's got kinfolk from Polk here? I don't think anybody, do you? Frodo does, I'm sure.
His wife and sister, she's from there.
I'm sorry, Frodo. Tell him I apologize. Have him call in and I'll apologize personally.
I don't have a wife or sister.
And you ain't even got a backyard.
I don't even have a garage. You could ask my wife.
Lisa, what are some of the kind of music you guys play?
Funk, R&B, mainly dance music, but we're exploring going into a lot more of the Motown vein.
Very
'Cause that's
cool.
sort
I
of
love
my favorite
Motown.
thing.
I love
my favorite
Motown.
thing to
Yeah,
sing,
we were
so.
close to Detroit, weren't we? I was closer than you were. I could get CKLW. It was an AM station when it was real clear at night, and that's a Detroit station. And I lived right below Cleveland, you know. And that was kind of cool. That's why I really got involved in music, you know, listening to that at night.
I don't know. My dad used to be, he had his own band in Columbus, and he had a call-in radio show where it was a 30-minute block, and people would call in and do requests, and his band would do them live on the air.
Oh, very cool.
So, and he used to do like the Ohio State Fair, and of course he did all the bars and things too. So
That's
when I
how
was
you got your
little-
musical background. It's hereditary.
Yeah, definitely.
Did your mom sing?
I don't remember. She passed away when I was young, so I don't really remember. But my dad groomed me from the time I was like 3
Very cool.
to be in front of people and on stage. I remember when I was young. Remember Hee Haw?
Hee-haw.
Yeah,
Hee-hee-hee.
yeah, he had he had the Charlie Pride and the,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
country Merle
yeah.
Haggard and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, Buck Owens.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So I got to kiss Grandpa Jones on the cheek one time
Very
when I
cool.
was real little. Sat on his knee and
did
kissed
you-
him. It felt like plastic. It kind of freaked me out.
Did
to be
you
honest
wash
with
your lips immediately after we used some of that
no,
gel
I
or
was,
anything?
No, I just kind of like I looked at my dad like, "Bleh."
He doesn't
'Cause it was
taste
like,
right.
He was really old, so his skin felt like plastic.
why
It
they
was
call him Grandpa
disgusting.
Jones.
It was gross. Sorry to all his living
No, it was all
family
good,
members.
Lisa. It's all good, believe me.
I was like, "Ugh."
He thought the same thing when he kissed him.
That's right. No, my brush with fame was I touched Liberace's car one time in Las
You
Vegas.
scared me there for a second.
Well, I threw the car in there, you know. It wasn't,
Yeah, I was like,
yeah, he offered me some candy and I took it. Lisa, who's your favorite vocalist?
Adele.
Adele. All
Yeah,
right.
without a doubt.
Now, when you're driving around your car, who do you got on the radio singing? Adele.
Yeah,
I mean,
Adele.
you selling. I mean, I heard you sing a couple of things here, and I was very impressed.
Thank you.
Do you listen to Detroit old music from Detroit, Motown stuff, and
Yeah, we
all
do.
these?
I like a lot of the ones, but I'm not into. I mean, for me, it's the soul and it's the feeling and anything that you can really put yourself into. I don't enjoy singing songs for the sake of just singing them. If I select a song, I mean, the band comes together and selects songs, and I'll do things that I might not have chosen. For the take one for the team, right?
Right.
I might sing songs that I wouldn't have chosen, but honestly, if I choose a song, it's because it's something that I can totally feel when I'm doing it, and that's what I get out of it.
it comes,
so,
the feeling comes out of you,
yeah, absolutely.
whether it be sad blues or happy
Right,
stuff. Yeah,
right.
that's very good. Tell me about the Incognito Lounge in Apollo Beach. It's a very interesting name. You guys played there, right?
Yes, we did.
Was
We're gonna be
everybody
there on the 26th.
incognito? Or you guys pretty much yourselves?
Brock got quiet.
Back door, blackout windows.
No, actually,
Very cool.
Stop it.
Did they have rolls of paper
Secret
towels and
Can
lotion?
you get us a
down?
job there?
No, if they're listening, they're gonna kick your butt.
No, I'm sure it's a great bar.
No, they're wonderful people.
Yeah.
They,
It
they
is.
really are. They're really close to our hearts.
Yeah,
It's
quite
Christine
honestly,
and
we're
Kevin.
we're kind of targeting more of the restaurant vein versus the bar
Right.
scene. We're all kind of, we don't like real smoky places,
Sure.
and we're trying to go, high end,
There's a-
bigger, nicer places.
There's a
honestly.
bar up on it's a chicken wing place, Kickin' Wings in Hudson. You guys heard it? Kickin' Wing?
Wing,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's on 52 there. That's kind of the restaurant atmosphere, no smoking, and it's got a nice stage there and everything. Good place
I'll
to play.
have to write that
Yeah,
down.
I'll write that down.
got
I'll give you
write
some.
that
I'll give you some
down.
names before later tonight.
I do the bookings, so
That's very cool.
Look me up. Names, phone numbers, email
That's very
addresses.
cool.
I'm good.
You like when you go to do booking, do you go into a bar and just listen to a band and then talk to the owner, or what do you do?
I'm a little unconventional that way, which is this is gonna sound funny because here I am on a talk show. I don't like talking.
No,
I really don't.
you're doing
like
a great job
talking.
at it.
Well, thank you. I'm way outside my comfort zone. I don't like talking. You can put a microphone in my hand, tell me to sing. I'm fine.
Okay, you'll do some of that too. A little
Talking is uncomfortable for me, and booking was very uncomfortable for me. The thought of it kind of paralyzed
bit. Yeah,
me.
because it's kind of like selling, and I'm not a good salesman. I hate rejection.
I don't like
I just
rejection.
hate rejection.
And also, I'm the type of girl that, like, even in my day job, if I feel like I deserve a raise, I say, why aren't they paying me? They know I deserve it. I don't want to have to ask for the money. They should just give it to me because I deserve it. And it's the same way when you go and you try to, push yourself as a band or buy me, sell me, love me, so
right.
it's kind of
Pay me what
it's
I'm worth.
uncomfortable.
Pay me what I'm worth.
It's very
Yeah.
uncomfortable
Yeah.
talking about money.
It is. Oh
for
yeah,
me.
it is. For
Very,
me, it
very
is too.
Mhm.
For me, it is very much. Troy,
Yes.
wake up down there. You see him come to attention. I like catching people off guard like that. You're from Norfolk, Virginia?
Yes.
Yeah, I got that one right.
Yep.
And you were born there?
No, I wasn't born there. I was born in the Philippines. But
Okay.
yeah,
That's cool.
but I
And
grew up there in Norfolk, so that's pretty much most of what I remember.
was your
is in
parents military?
Norfolk. My dad was a mining engineer.
Okay.
So
I was thinking Norfolk. There's an army base not too far from there.
Yes.
wasn't there?
Navy base.
Navy base.
Navy
huh?
base.
Navy base.
There's Navy base. Big Navy base.
And how old were you when you came over to the Philippines?
I was 7.
7? Mhm.
7. Yeah. 7. It's been a long time.
And did you start playing guitar when you lived in the Philippines or when you were in
No.
Norfolk?
It was when I was in Norfolk, senior year in high school. After that, I kind of got interested, and then I just continued playing.
You
from that
played
day
at
forward.
school in some kind of a band?
No, I picked it up in high school just watching friends play, and I joined a band when I went into college, original band, and then later on cover band. Yeah, and I pretty much continued playing from that. Yeah. From that
So
point on.
what inspired you? I mean, was there a certain song you heard, or you just seeing your friends play? I'm sure there's a song there
yeah.
somewhere.
Yeah, it
What
was,
was
Shortest Straw by Metallica.
Ah, all right. I knew I liked this guy. That was the first song you played on guitar.
That was what really inspired me to keep going.
Very
I
cool.
mean, I got interested when I heard one, but then
Uh-huh.
someone was playing the rest of the album. I was at a friend's house, and I heard that one. I was like, oh, I gotta learn this song.
Very
So
good.
I played that, and then I was kind of steered toward electric for a long time,
Mm-hmm.
and then I migrated to acoustic. After that,
That's funny because some people usually start out acoustic and migrate to electric, right?
Yeah. It's usually the other way around.
Yeah.
But I migrated to acoustic, and I stayed on acoustic mainly because I learned how to play drums at the same time while I was playing the guitar.
So you play other instruments too?
No, just this.
Well,
Just this.
the
But I
drum. You
play
said the
drums on
drum.
here,
Oh,
in here.
okay.
Yeah.
He's
You're
very
the bongo.
I do percussive.
He's percussive.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
He doesn't need me.
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
We all need you. We all need you.
They need you.
We
What
need
entertainment
you.
would they have without you? You know.
That is true.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
need
that's
Mike.
right. Yeah.
You're like self-taught, or did you take lessons?
Pretty much self-taught. I mean, I took probably a couple of months worth of lessons when I was first starting out. I learned from that teacher. I learned some scales.
Cool.
That's about it. But how to apply them and all those things, I really didn't catch on until much later. I mean, I still remember the patterns, and I'm pretty much a pattern player. So I know where G is and basically but I can't read sheet music.
Do you
play
use
by ear.
tabs at all?
I learned, let's see, the first tab I learned was When the Children Cry by the White Lion years ago. And I learned that so I could learn how to finger pick too. So that was the reason for me choosing that song.
Good.
But yeah, so I learned tab from then, but then I stopped using tab for a while.
Who are some of your other influences besides Metallica?
Well, let's see, during my electric years, I was leaning toward following just Van Halen and Nuno Betancourt from Extreme.
Who was it?
Those are my two favorites.
Who was it? Last one you said?
Nuno Betancourt, he's from Extreme.
Okay.
Their popular song was More Than Words, which was a ballad. But,
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, but then he played a lot more stuff. He
More
plays
Than
with
Words.
Rihanna now every now and then.
Okay.
And then when I went to acoustic, I guess Tuck Andrus is one of, he's not a real well-known guitar player, but he's one of those that plays multiple parts on the guitar. So
Kind of a technical type player.
Yeah.
You're kind of a technical type player too.
in some ways.
Yeah.
He
I think we
is,
all
he
are.
is.
We are. That's good. Yeah. That's I kind of picked that up. Have you played with other bands also?
Yeah.
It's okay to tell them.
Really, what?
Oh, they know everything.
No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, there's moonlighting.
Everybody's moonlight.
Everybody's
This is
moonlighting.
true.
these
No,
days.
yes, we are.
Yeah.
What's some of the other bands you played with?
I play with, let's see, just not actual full bands, but just like individual people. I mean, I played with for a little bit Meredith Marsh, but she was here, and she moved to Roanoke, so I don't get to jam with her as often. But just other folks who I meet up with at open mics. I mean, whoever is willing to jam. Mary Beth King is another person that I jam with. So Betty Fox, sometimes I'll jam with her too. If
I'm not. None of those names ring a bell for me. They're local
yeah,
people
local
from
people.
Port Richey.
No, from Tampa.
Okay, so you live in the Tampa area, I think.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you guys have been around to the different venues and stuff in Port Richey.
We haven't been too much in Port Richey. We've had a couple. We did Whiskey River once. We did Skinny's once or twice. We got rained out. But since Mike and Troy both live in the Tampa area, and to cut down from them having to drive so far, most of the stuff that I've booked has been in the Tampa area.
Very good.
Yeah.
How's the crowd base from Tampa to Port Richey, Pasco area? Is there different crowds?
Different, yeah.
Nobody wears a cowboy hat in Tampa, do they?
No.
It's a bit, it's very
Did
different.
I say that? I'm sorry, Jim.
I'll wear a cowboy straw hat sometimes.
He does.
But I'm
He
the
has.
only one.
He has done that.
I'll be the
They
only
seem
one
to be-
wearing it.
So you get
Yeah, it
a
seems
hat
more-
for each county, right? You go up to Polk County, you put the decal hat on, and
Yeah, I gotta put my motoring cap on.
Monster truck hat.
yeah, your monster truck hat, your NASCAR
My
helmet.
touring cap.
Sure. Troy, if you could play with any band, I don't mean you have to leave these guys, but with any band that you wanted to, who would that be?
Oh my.
We could pick two or three if you want to.
Let's see. I would say the Dave Matthews Band.
That would have been mine.
Let's see. I would. Extreme would be another one I'd love to jam with. So many. Foo Fighters.
Foo Fighters? That's good.
Yeah, Foo Fighters.
In that order, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Very cool. Now, are you guys set up to do a song here? You don't have to move mics. You can. Let's see. Everybody's got a mic, right? So we're cool.
Yeah.
Oh, I have to swing this one out. You can you use that one on your bass or on your drum? Okay. All right. So I think we got enough mics. Can you guys go ahead and play us a song?
Yeah.
Whatever
Can
you
go
want
over
to do. Your choice. Doesn't matter if you can sit there and sing. You got to stand up, sing.
No, I don't have to.
Well, honey,
I don't
stand
wanna
up
go
if you
Why don't
have
we
to.
go ahead and switch seats out for the next two?
Okay, you can do that.
Then they can-
Yeah, we'll go ahead and do that. We're going to play
that one.
musical musicians here
we don't
for a
need-
little bit.
they
So
don't
we
need-
need Mike. Well, he can't play drums and come over here too. That's not good. Let's let him play the song
Yeah,
first and
after
then
the song.
switch. She can switch over. It's cool. If she can get through there, it's all right. I just want everybody to get a chance to be on the camera so everybody can see you.
Wow, is it
You can go back and see yourself.
tripwire? Tripwire. There's
There's
a claymore down
There's a
there.
claymore.
You
But
just took his ears off.
Tripwire.
I'm sorry.
Front toward enemy.
you did a great job, Lisa. What song are you guys going to do?
Do Survive? Yeah. If you pull up Survive, we can do that one. That one's fun.
They're gonna reach.
Yeah, it'll reach.
Yeah, it's good.
I think it'll reach all the way to Tampa.
Can you hear?
Oh, yeah.
I can hear you.
Can you hear me now?
This is Soulmate Smiling, and we're going to do
I will survive.
You Will Survive.
First I was afraid, I was petrified. Kept thinking I could never live without you by my side. And I spent so many nights thinking how you did me wrong. I grew strong, and I learned how to get along. And so you're back from outer space. I just walked in to find you here with that sad look upon your face. Should've changed that stupid life. Should've made you leave your key. If I'd have known for just 1 second you'd be back to bother me. Go on now, go. Walk out the door. Just turn around now. 'Cause you're not welcome anymore. Aren't you the one who tried to hurt me with goodbye? Did you think I'd crumble? Did you think I'd lay down and die? Oh no, not I will survive. Oh, as long as I know how to love, know I'll be alive. I got all my life to live. I got all my love to give. I'll survive. I will survive. It took all the strength I had not to fall apart. Kept trying to mend the pieces of my broken heart. And I spent so many nights feeling sorry for myself. I used to cry. Now I hold my head up high and you see me. Somebody new. I'm not that chained up little person still in love with you. And you feel like dropping in. Just expect me to be free. Now I'm saving all my love back for someone who's loving me. Go on now, go. Walk out the door. Just turn around now. 'Cause you're not welcome anymore. Aren't you the one who tried to hurt me with goodbye? Did you think I'd crumble? Did you think I'd lay down and die? Oh no, not I will survive. Oh, as long as I know how to love, know I'll be alive. I got all my life to live. I got all my love to give. I'll survive. I will survive. Hey, hey. Go on now, go. Walk out the door. Just turn around now. 'Cause you're not welcome anymore. Aren't you the one who tried to hurt me with goodbye? Did you think I'd crumble? Did you think I'd lay down and die? Oh no, not I will survive. Oh, as long as I know how to love, oh, I'll be alive. I got all my life to live. I got all my love to give. I'll survive. I will survive. Hey.
Excellent. Very, very good.
Very
good.
nice.
Very smooth. That was great, you guys. Bob, Joe, can you?
Joe.
Joe Bob.
Can you come
Let
over
me
here?
skip on over here.
Can you skip on over here to this here chair
Pilgrim.
so we can see you on our TVs there?
And let's load the next
I
one
gotta
up
put
on
my
this side.
cowboy hat on.
And then is there any way that Mike you could make it over to his chair?
Sure.
Okay, that'd be cool. You don't have to take your drum with you or anything. Or if you want to, you can take your drum with you. So we might do another song here in a minute. If you want to take your drum, go ahead.
What's your step?
We need a bigger studio. If Nolan, if you're listening, we need a bigger studio. But don't raise the rent.
Still alive.
Okay, let me get out of your way here.
Wiggle, 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 wiggle.
Okay, you're good. What was that, a commercial or something?
Yeah,
Is
that
it-
Eminem thing.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Isn't that one of the guy I work out?
Watch me
that
work
song?
it.
Yeah, I work out or something like that. Yeah.
Tangle more stuff up if I walk
Are you guys okay out there? Am I
I'm
not
fine.
really making you
Sit
do
right
this?
here.
Troy, do you want us to get you that seat?
I'm being.
if I cross over, I'm gonna like start to untangle everybody up. So
There's going to be a lot of electricity out around here in a minute. Joe, you have
Yes.
a couple of custom-made basses. an Ursula 5 and a tongue fretless, which you're holding right now.
Yeah. The one that I'm playing now was made for me by a guy by the name of Nicholas Tongue, who used to work for Michael Tobias. I acquired it in 1994, kind of off of an ad in the back of a magazine. And one thing led to another, and I kind of had it sight unseen. I kind of knew what it was going to look like, but I didn't really know a whole lot more about it. I knew what the wood was about and everything. And I pulled it out of the case for the first time, and I was like, oh, man. Like, oh, my. It seems to get a lot of attention.
It's a sweet-looking guitar. It really is.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, you'll see some pictures of that online after we're done with the show.
Thank you. The other one was the Ursula 5 was made for me by a guy by the name of Ben Chafin. Ben has a guitar repair at Tampa Bay with a gentleman by the name of Mick Donner. Ben had been making custom basses and guitars for years, and we had gone back and forth about, what, he kept saying, what do you want? And I'm like, well, it's just, and I said, just make me, pull it from your heart, man. Just make me something from the heart. And he did. And it ended up being the prototype Ursula bass. It's got a cherry wood top, or a cherry sunburst finish over a quilted top. And it's an amazing bass. It really is. I mean,
it's not fretless, is it?
No, it's not. No, I primarily play fretless with Soulmate.
Playing fretless, I mean, you got to know where you're at. Could you play a fretless, Jim? Have you ever tried?
Not a guitar.
No. Yeah.
I think it'd be a little bit harder.
Yeah, it's amazing. I've seen a guy that had all fretless guitars. I forget where I was at, concert somewhere.
Yeah,
it's pretty impressive stuff. I mean, you know where you're at. You could close your eyes and play, right?
Yeah,
or you do?
It was at some of the Jedi training I had.
The Force is with you.
Yeah, they shipped me down here and they said, "Here, use your talent, make it work for you."
And it did work,
and that's what I did.
Very cool.
That's
nice looking.
Thank you.
Yeah.
No, I just I had played upright in college. When I went to school, everybody in the music department wanted to sound like Jaco Pastorius. Everybody was, like, oh, do you know Jaco licks? Do you know this? Do you know that? And I'm like, no, not really. I came from a totally different vein, So one semester I went home and I went out in the garage and I got a pair of pliers and I yanked all the frets out of my Rick 4001 and just pulled them all out, and then I played it and I was like, yeah, this is a whole lot better. I like
this.
Is
that some kind of an anger management thing?
Yeah, it was actually.
You're okay now, though, right?
Nothing against Rick's. I love Rick's.
Okay.
It's just that particular
You've been
one.
cured, I hope.
My Chris Squire days were over after that was it.
Joe, you're somewhat of a Motorhead, right?
Somewhat. Yeah, I am.
What do we drive, right?
What do I drive?
Does she help you wrench on them?
I have right now I've got an import tuner. I got a Mazda Speed 3. I generally I came from the V8 school, so making the transition was a little different for me. So I went from knowing, okay, spark, fuel, ignition, coolant, this sensor tells the computer to do this, and it tells it to do this at this time. Yeah. So you have to. I went completely over to that, and it was a mind blower for me. I mean, I had brain burn for
computer stuff
weeks.
than it is turning wrenches.
Yeah,
it tells you where to turn the wrench.
That's right. Yeah. And if you turn it wrong, you know it in a short period of time.
That's good stuff.
Absolutely.
Do you do motorcycles too, or just cars?
Yeah, bikes.
What kind of bikes do you want?
Right now, I'm riding a Honda CBR 1100 XX Blackbird. I've had her for probably about 5 years, 6 years.
And you refer to it as her, as in like a boat?
Yeah.
What's her name?
Well, I don't know if I really refer to it as she doesn't really. I don't use the name that much. It's just.
It's okay. It's all right. We're not making fun of you.
No, they're not making fun of me.
They're just learning stuff right here.
They're not
they've
making
never
fun
even
of me
heard before.
No, I just no. There's a reason behind that. See, I had the first one I had was a Suzuki. That was Lucy, and then after that there was I had Lucy for Charlotte, and Charlotte was a Hayabusa that just about put me down. Well, it put me down for a while. And then I got this one, and this one I just, off the top of the head, I named it Selena. I guess the reason why I name them is because to me motorcycles are a lot like horses. When you're driving a car, it's not the same. When you're on a motorcycle, it's every little input's like you're riding a horse. Every little input, or when you lean forward or this way or that
everything.
way, it affects the balance. It affects your movement. It affects the bike. So, and then my grandfather was a horse guy. So I was like, it just kind of trickled down.
So you ride the Iron Horse now.
That's right, the Iron Horse. Iron and plastic.
Do you have a Harley by any chance?
No, I don't.
I'm sorry.
Oh,
Next,
I have ridden them.
please.
Yes.
Where are you from, Joe?
Where am I from? Well, I was born in Perth Amboy, New Jersey. I grew up in New Jersey until I was about 6 or 7, and then I came down here to Florida, and went back there on occasion every now and then. But for the most part, I stayed like in the Newport Richey area. When I was a kid, I got into the music thing very early. My father was an electronics technician, and he was an audio head, kind of like an audiophile.
Mm-hmm.
So I was exposed to music at a very young age.
When you say you were exposed to, did he listen to a lot of music, or was he a musician also?
He wasn't a musician. He was he wanted to do it, but because of the circumstances, it didn't really pan out for him.
Mm-hmm.
He enjoyed drums a lot. He enjoyed piano a lot. He used to spin Floyd Kramer and Eddie Haywood and guys like that, and try to get me involved in keyboards. And I was involved in keyboards for a while when I was a kid, but I made the transition to bass kind of. It was one of those things where it was I don't want to say a spite thing, but it was like I was. Story being, I was a kid. My mother had a Hammond organ in the living room, and I used to like to mess around with it when I was a kid. But it was all tubes, so after a while I kind of figured out that, hey, if you stick a screwdriver in here and you turn this way and you turn that way, and you know what I'm talking about, Ralph, right? You turn it, old. You get all these really cool kind of crazy sounds out of it. Well, I love doing that, So here I was taking organ lessons and messing with the organ and messing around with the Leslie and stuff. And then all of a sudden I went to school one day, and then when I came home from school, the Hammond and the Leslie and the speakers were gone, and in the place of it was this little Wurlitzer combo, like dual manual one touch organ thing.
Something that did everything.
And I was just, after that point, I was like, oh, I just kind of lost interest. And then my friends on the block were, putting a band together, and they were like, well, why don't you play bass? And I'm like, okay, well, what does it involve? And then after that, after I got involved with it, I was like, yeah, I wanted to do it more. So that's pretty much the story in a nutshell.
Cool. Who was the Getaway Sticks?
Well, that's interesting. When I first started thinking about putting a band together, I was really, really into alternative, and I really liked playing it. And, I like to play and I like to sing a lot. And I found out that if with that idiom, it's like I just kind of fit into it. So a friend of mine and I, who played guitar, said, well, we need to find a drummer. And I was like, okay. I said, there's one that I know of that'd be perfect for this. And then I called Mike. Who, I wonder. And so then I called Mike on the phone. And it was just like, it was an instant. It was an instant gel between the three of us. But the project is still hanging in the rafters.
It's kind of
one
the
of those
second band type thing, right?
Well, no, it's a hanging in the rafters type thing. Mike works with he's got an alternative band called Well Wisher that he works, and they're an original alternative band, and I think that somewhere soon here I'll probably be involved in that a little bit. So
cool.
I still do that. Play with a pick, do the rock thing.
So you're a pretty versatile guy then.
Yeah, I was trained as a jazz musician, and then to recap what I was talking about before, I was in college and I came from a different school of things. I came from the Euro pop / Euro jazz kind of progressive jazz movement. So I was really into bands like Brand X and Soft Machine and like that. So when I went to college, everybody was like, "Man, you sound like Jocko," and I'm like, "Jocko who?" And I'm like, "Jocko what?" And then somebody whips out an old issue guitar player, and he was this guy with this frizzy hair, and I was like, playing a jazz bass that was all like tainted and torn, and I'm like, I got to hear this. And the guy put me on a Weather Report album, and I was like, this is unbelievable. I mean, he was doing things so far ahead of his time.
It's more like a fusion type jazz, right?
Fusion, yeah. So then after I was doing that, I played with quite a few bands up, and then I went to college at Robert Bellarmine University of Louisville, and general at Louisville, Kentucky. So a lot of the bands there were very, very eclectic. Like they had all these different things going on, and I was a part of a band that did exactly that. They were called The Difference, and all they did was like King Crimson, Peter Gabriel, Talking Heads,
love that stuff,
things like that, and
that's all good stuff.
Yeah, and I got so enveloped into that sound, I got into the fretless sound, and it just kind of went from there.
You liked it.
Yeah, I did. I dug it. It was definitely boss. Yeah.
Mike, how long have you been playing drums?
Good question.
You can count on both hands.
20 years.
20 years?
Since I was 10 years old.
Very cool. Very cool. And you learned from a couple buckets, or what did you have going on there?
Well, oddly enough, a lot of kids want to learn how to play the drums, but it's like a pretty significant investment to have a drum set and all that. But my father played. So growing up, we always had drums in the house. So, he would teach me some stuff here and there when I was young. And then when I was 10, I started taking formal lessons.
Again, a musical background like her. And
Yeah. My mom played piano as well. So musical family. And, I took lessons on and off between the time I was 10 and 18.
Where are you from?
I grew up in Spring Hill, Florida.
Oh.
About an hour north of here.
Yeah, it's a suburb of Port Richey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's one way to put it.
The burbs.
It's the verb. What was the first concert you've ever went to?
Oh, good question. Carlos Santana.
Where at?
At that time it was known as the Ice Palace, now the Tampa Bay Times Forum.
Yeah, very cool. I love Carlos.
Yeah, it was great.
He gets the 21-piece band behind him, a percussion.
Yeah, it was amazing. Good first concert.
Good stuff. Were you gonna say something?
No.
Oh. Because you went towards the mic. I thought you were gonna say, but that's okay. Just sit back and relax, John.
I'm just rocking.
We're just trying it here.
I love they put a rocking chair in here.
Mike, what's the largest crowd you've ever played for?
Oh gosh. One time when I was in high school, I played for this youth rally at the Ice Palace, and I mean it was a pretty large crowd. It wasn't like a packed house or anything. They just had like the first level open, but I would say that's probably the largest crowd I played.
It's kind of like a hockey game there.
Yeah,
that's how many people there.
Well, no, not 20,000. Probably like 5,000. Yeah.
Do you have a Facebook?
No.
I didn't think you did.
Why? You tried to look me up?
You're not there.
He said,
"Yep,
you're not there."
I'm on LinkedIn though.
Otherwise, if you don't give me any information, I just pull stuff out of the attic.
Okay, that's what I thought.
And how long was your stint in the prison?
Oh,
I've never been to prison. I swear.
I read it on Facebook. You were.
Nope, not me.
Mike, who's your favorite drummer?
That's a good question. I mean, my all-time favorite. Well, let me. I'm not going to 100% answer your question. I'll get to the point. So, growing up, one of my big influences during the time when I was really honing my style was Carter Beauford from Dave Matthews Band. So that's like one of my big influences that has really influenced the way that I play drums. But I'd have to say my favorite drummer is Antonio Sanchez, who plays with Pat Metheny. He's literally the one drummer that I've been exposed to where I just don't know what that guy's doing. You know, like most drummers, I listen to it, I'm like, okay, like I can do that. You know, it makes sense. When I listen to him, I don't know what he's doing.
Can you watch him and tell, or?
No. I mean, well, it's yeah, to a certain extent, but it's still. I think a better way to put it is I cannot replicate a lot of what that guy plays, and that's what makes him very interesting to listen to for me.
Cool. Playing different venues, do you feel more energy from the different crowds, and why do you think that is? I mean, like if you go into one bar, you got a crowd coming out there, and you know everybody's just doing their thing, not even listening to the band. Then you got another one where everybody's like up at the stage watching you. You get different energies from different crowds, correct?
Yeah, I do, and I'd say to a certain extent on this topic, I might differ from the rest of the band. Where, you know, for me, I kind of play music more for myself, you know, and if I'm into what I'm playing, you know, if the crowd's into it, it's a plus. But if they're not, that's cool too. I'm still having a good time, you know.
Oh, yeah, that's good. Thanks a lot, Raphael.
Yes, hello, good evening.
Good evening. You hear that? Good evening. It's a Bela Lugosi voice there. Are you the newest member of Soulmate Smiling? Are you?
I am, and I had a very interesting first gig.
Did you?
Yes.
Tell us about. Was it the woodshed incident?
No,
you're not supposed to tell stuff like that.
New Year's Eve party at a 55 and up retirement community.
Wow.
And let me tell you, those retirees can party.
Did you get hit on?
Yeah, did you get hit on?
I did not.
You're disappointed about that.
The chick with the walker. Dude. I didn't even want to say anything, but
he didn't want
notice
to admit.
Scotland, very exotic.
You were in a band not long ago called The Human Condition. Am I correct?
Correct. All original band, led by the super talented Dean Johannesson, who is currently doing a solo thing this year.
What kind of music do they play? Is it like jazz type?
It was all original, and it was acoustic fronted. It was kind of like the best way I can describe it but what the people can understand, conceptualize is like Ben Harper or Dave Matthews or Wallflowers. Very rootsy, very.
I hear a lot of
earthy.
influence from the Dave Matthews. All three guys.
Yeah, they're good.
Yeah.
But fabulous songwriter. Dean is an excellent songwriter. Very human stories. Very personal. Very accessible by anybody.
How did you hook up with Soulmate Smiling? Did they find you in an ad or something?
Joe and I worked together.
Okay.
And actually, I took a long hiatus from playing keys for a while and took up bass because I love my favorite part of music is the rhythm section. I'm a wannabe drummer and a wannabe bass player.
You know, that's better than saying I am a drummer and can't do it. You know?
So I took up bass because I love it and to get gigs playing bass. And Joe was at the break room looking at some bass website. I'm like, hey, you play bass? And that's how we met.
Very cool. What's the craziest thing that's ever happened to you while you were on stage? Did you play biker events or anything like that?
No, I did play at a nudist colony once, though.
Yeah. Well, that was pretty crazy. There's like a bunch of raisins out there.
It was like a bunch of raisins.
Yeah.
Did you get hit on?
Did you get hit on there?
I definitely not get hit on.
With a walker.
The same one.
See, she's following you around. She's your stalker.
And we were dressed, actually. Most of the band was dressed until about the third set. And then the percussion player dropped trowel and the drummer dropped trowel.
Right. You guys are getting into it.
Hey, you know, there's nothing worse than a stalker with a walker.
Oh boy!
Our 55 and older crowd just tuned out.
No, they just called their neighbors to tune in. I guess
I'm gonna be lighting up the boards here in a few minutes.
The boards up.
It's gonna be off the scale.
You know, I want too bad I'm out of time and I don't get to hear you guys play another tune. I wish I did. I mean, you played on the show prior to me. We're just out of time. Sorry.
Are you guys on Facebook?
Yeah,
Yep.
They are.
How did you find?
Now,
how do you find you on Facebook? Because I was having trouble, and I want to make sure that people can find you.
It's on there. Now, you guys, if anybody's listening at all, you get to see Soulmate Smiling at the Christina Ann Coolidge event at Seaside. That's at 5330 Treadway Avenue, right next to Hooters there. And they're having a pig roast, 50/50, a silent auction. That'll be January 26th from 12 to 7. And I think Soulmate Smiling is going on at noon on the inside stage.
Yeah. Outside stage,
Outside
12
stage.
to 1:30.
Okay, very cool. The band lineup there, if Jeffrey still has the same amount of band deck count, so inside we'll kick off with Tim Cronin at noon, Zigzag at 1:30, Emery Brothers Band at 3 p.m., Shinebox Live at 5 p.m., the Beach Billies at 8 p.m., outside stage, Soulmate Smile at noon. Definitely have to go out and see them. Strung Over at 2 p.m. If you like the Dave Matthews, they kind of lead towards the Dave. Have you heard Strung Over yet, Jeremiah Bullfrog? Very good, very good. You'll love those guys. Rick Stutz at 4 p.m., the Blue Riders at 5:30. And we want to thank all the bands for donating their time to come and play. It makes a difference for Christina's family. Christina was a dispatcher for the Newport Richey Police.
The Port Richey
Police. And
she died all of a sudden.
Left
the family behind.
Yeah, left the family behind. And it's kind of very tragic. A couple other things coming up. What were they, Jim?
Dina Nichols band at the Sandbar this Friday night. Dino Nichols Rocking Country.
That's a Sandbar on what's
US 19.
It's
right
at Flora.
Right across from Florimar.
Okay, Florimar.
If you were coming out of Gulf Harbors and you had a really good buzz and you forgot to turn on 19 and you went straight across, just park your car, come on in and get more of a buzz.
Have you had experience
That's
with
a
that
Sandbar.
before, Jim? You sound like that's a perfect directions for you to give.
That's how I found the place.
Okay. Also going on Friday night at the State Theater in St. Petersburg is the Jackal Show, and appearing there, my good friends Love Dogs are going to be there, and get out and see the Love Dogs.
So if you're not coming to Dina Nichols, you better go down there.
Yeah, you better.
No excuses. You
No,
guys
there
aren't
is no
playing
excuses.
Friday, right?
We are. Actually.
Oh, are you? Where you guys are? Where you guys at Friday? Got to be at one of these gigs or nowhere. We'll find out
real quick.
Yeah, you got to hurry.
I know. I'm sorry.
That's okay. I made you move around enough, so I'm going to punish you for that.
All right, we're on the 11th. We're at
22nd.
Thank you very much.
No, wait. Further than that.
26th, we're at Incognito in Apollo Beach.
That's Saturday.
Yes.
Okay.
Sure, Friday
Incognito
night,
in
Joe
Apollo
is
Beach.
That's
busy.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
very cool.
okay, Friday night,
Mm-hmm.
either Dina Nichols Band at Sandbar or down at the Jackal Show with the Love Dogs at the State Theater.
The State Theater, huh? Yeah.
Awesome.
We're out of time for now. Let's get out there and see Soulmate Smiling. I'm sorry. See Soulmate Smiling at the Seaside there Sunday night. And there are many ways of finding out what's going on in the Tampa Bay area here. There's Where's the Party? She has a show on Thursday nights. Her name's Charlene, and she'll tell you what's going on right here on Rock Slam Radio. There's a website you can go to, gotonight.com. And they have everything on there that within a 50-mile radius, 25-mile radius, 10-mile radius, and you can find out what's going on, who's playing, and where they're playing at. So get out there and support live music and the venues that support them. My next week's guest will be the Quitters, and thank you very much for listening, and thank you very much, Soulmate
If
Smiling.
they show up.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
They might quit.
Thank you. Good night, folks.
Take care.
You've been listening to the T-Bonez Rock Show, only on RockSlamRadio.com.